because if you have a new type of data set, and if you have new types of tasks, it might be very difficult to anticipate what you actually need interactively in order to solve a specific task you haven't seen yet. Right. So therefore, it might be much easier to say, okay, you have the data set, you also have all the tasks, the queries, whatever, and then you can start and build your thing. Whereas even if I give you a few examples, then you would need to anticipate the wealth, the possible universe of queries, which already for LSC is sometimes difficult when you come up with a new way of phrasing things and say, oh yeah, but this is only answerable because of this type of information I never considered. And even though it was always there, nobody ever looked at it because it was never used. So therefore, I would really emphasize the asynchronous part of this for new stuff. And if we want to do interactive things, then they should be reasonably close to things people are already familiar with, right? Because we see with VBS and LSC how high the barrier of entry already is. And if we then say, okay, we're not going to do something that is more complicated than this, or even at least more new, there's completely clean slate. And the people at this table will not have a lot of time to actually.
If the people at this table can't do it, nobody does it, right?
Yeah, right. Because because everybody here is involved in actually building the back end of this. So there's not going to be participating teams that are sitting here.
TPC chair,
This too. Right? But this is an independent problem. But even saying, look, everybody here is probably out of participating because of conflict of interest and because we might already know the ground truth because we have been there.
That is a problem.
So that already cuts out a whole swath of people who already have the experience with this sort of stuff.
So it has to be easy. Low barrier.
It has to have the task can be difficult to do, but it should not have it should not be difficult to attempt.
So how would you design the asynchronous part? It would still be interactive, and we would still give rules of time limit.
I would essentially have tasks where we do not specify very closely how people solve them, and just do the classic. Look, here's a bunch of queries. Here's how we're going. Here's the format you're supposed to present your results in. Here's the metrics we're going to use. You have 3 months.
Yeah.
Go.
And you have a limit. Like let's say you do an interactive task, you have a limit of 3 minutes per task.
Well, not even necessarily, right? Because you can. DirectCreate also did this.
We did that.
So you have to specify how you did it, and then we say if you have a thing that is completely automated that does not require any human input, then it goes into one bucket. If you have a thing that was human machine collaboration, it goes into another bucket. And then you're supposed to report. Of course, we cannot precisely validate this. But you're supposed to report
the time,
the number of rounds, or whatever is applicable for your approach. Again, this needs to be somewhat broad because people might have very different approaches to do this. But ultimately, everybody just generates a rank ordered list of results or whatever fits the actual
or the answer if we do question answer.
Yes, or a string or an integer value if it or something like this, and then we will evaluate this in a maybe fully automated. If we just have a ground truth we can compare it to, maybe a judged, and then we do all this pooling stuff.
We probably have to do a pooling because the data is going to be too big.
I mean, for some, I can think of some types of tasks. So, for example, if you, and this is something I alluded to yesterday. I'm already having sneakily repositioning stuff all around the house. So there are some things, and I'm not going to go into more details because otherwise I'm going to giving away the task.
Was that cacao powder?
No, not the cacao powder.
And not the chocolate?
Also not the chocolate.
The banana?
that might also be a type of where was the thing kind of task. Because then there is we actively interacted with the thing. There's also some things you're probably not going to interact with, but that if you look back at the video, you will notice that it was there, but you probably haven't paid attention to it. And now everybody's looking at it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm extremely bad in that.
I'm
Can
gonna
I replace it now? And
Yes, I'm gonna tell you eventually. Right, but essentially, okay. Tell me all the locations where that thing was across the time, right? And then it's somewhat automatable.
And you've got a record, right?
I have notes.
Notes, that's enough. That's good enough.
That's very interesting for this virtual forensic stuff that Zeno and colleagues do. At Netherlands Forensic Institute, they have this virtual forensic lab and so on. And I think this is kind of going a little bit also touching sister communities, I have to say.
I mean, the other thing is you have the receipts from shopping, so you know how much stuff we bought of which things.
Yes.
It strikes me that
It's also important, yes.
I photocopy of them all, or picture of them all,
Yeah.
except your one, except your one, the big one,
very
the big
long
one.
one,
Yes.
yes.
With the video camera.
And what the stuff you bought today
because
is not
you
on.
have it as a
Yeah.
hidden
I have it
counters.
on the camera.
If it's
Camera,
not on the
camera.
camera,
Okay.
then you have
It strikes me that that is a very nice hackathon task. The diet, generate the recipe book. Right?
Yeah,
That's a simple hackathon task that we could
I
actually
think
set.
This is what I meant before.
That might
like,
also be
there
a
is
challenge for
work
us,
on-
though, because that can be
That can
run
be
through.
evaluated.
Oh yeah, true. It can be done.
Can
Yeah,
evaluate
we have
this.
to. So we actually have to make our own recipe book again after this with
I would
details.
also like to do, what I think would be interesting more for maybe the computer vision focused people, is if I brought the camera, right, and I'm gonna take some pictures later, and we can release some of those pictures.
I've got pictures
but
too.
not others, and then say, okay, what did the camera see? Reconstruct the image based on. You have a bunch of other cameras. You have a bunch of. You can reconstruct the scene because at least much of the environment doesn't change all that much. So you can probably generate a very accurate 3D reconstruction of the environment. And I'm just gonna. You get a few training images to learn the properties of the camera. And it's like, okay, what was the focal length? What are the sensor properties? Yada yada yada. And then we have the images, and then I can even do a just pixel based. How accurate was the reconstruction?
I like that.
This is great.
I also brought a thermal camera that we can
Yeah,
take
use
some.
it.
It's very low res and it
Yeah,
only
yeah.
does pictures, but we can run around with this and take some pictures and see if that gives something interesting.
Can I just I'm thinking about another one that we did once, and it's funny. So you have Google Street View for most of the cities, but in Amsterdam many years ago we started thinking with the city. When I say city, Chief Technology Office and Data Lab. It's a bit risky, to use commercial products because at some point they even change the terms of service, or they start charging insanely high, So Amsterdam has own panorama vehicles, like many cities. You capture them with moving cars or even from the boats, there are cameras mounted there and you kind of stitch them into omnidirectional panorama. So interesting, we used it for some things, aside that you need to anonymize it properly and so on, but we used it for obvious stuff that our community would use, detecting objects in a public space, monitoring state of assets, like in garbage, we even did and so on. But the catch is, so now comes interesting thing. So in a big organization like a municipality of that size, you have 50 to 80 departments, and they have all product owners and so on, managers basically, and if they find it interesting enough, to incorporate this into their pipelines, then it can be expanded and so on, and it can actually save costs on many things. So the city organized once a hackathon. I was in a jury, and that was really interesting. So on the first day come people from different kind of departments, and one is basically monitoring state of the advertisements in a public space. It's kind of you have to pay a tax to put anything in a public space as an advertisement. Apparently in many cities people just like hang something,
Right.
hoping nobody's gonna see. And there are even strict regulations on, for example, light pollution. You know, like if you put a light symbol there, well, it maybe preventing people from sleeping, you know, and so on. So anyhow, the head of department came and he was really like, hey, look, there are these panoramas, but we have no idea what they can be used for, and we are totally willing to invest this much and this much, you know, like if we see kind of evidence that you can reliably detect automatically all the advertisements in public space. So there comes another person that says, oh, if you can show us this and this. So there were like 5-6 people that came, and for 2 days people were busy really, and actually they were even kind of sometimes describing it very vaguely, but they were like really, hey, there must be something that we are not seeing there, because otherwise we would be probably using it. If you find something useful in it, when it comes to advertisement and so on, please also let us know. So, but I'm going with this one. We have this data now, so for a hackathon, I think it would be handy to give some guidelines, to kind of give some ideas. Hey, look, invite some people from our community that have been working on food, like Tatsang, Chongwa, and so on and so on. They kind of say, hey, look, this is what community has been doing. Some people that were doing this could be in this direction. Doesn't have to be the same, you know, like, and then give some other hints what people use it for. Recipes, you know, like there is this 1 million recipe, you know. We attempted to cook Asian food in Ireland, but I'm quite sure and it tasted great, but it's probably not the original ingredients. So what did we get? Close enough, yeah, but close enough. That's really great. What did you replace with what? You know? So I think that kind of stuff, and then kind of that's hackathon. And I think for Grand Challenge, at least I think we need to keep some interaction, because if you look what most of the people do, like in Neuripsy, Cyclears, computer vision conferences and so on, it's mostly fully automatic stuff. And this is like sports event. It's fun. It's I think that's some kind of joy that we are bringing to the table of a conference, any conference.
Absolutely, but then again, interactive has a high barrier of entry, so it should not be exclusive.
Yeah, I think what's coming out from the conversation is there's an asynchronous task and there's a synchronous task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The asynchronous task is going to be lower barrier to entry. Any student in any university that can get his hands on 20 terabytes or her hands on 20 terabytes of disk space can process the data set, can process 24 queries or whatever we decide to do, send in results, pooled relevance judgments, submission back, or whatever, right, answers back, results back. And those that want to do the interactive element will come to the actual conference definitely, right? And they will take part in an interactive Grand Challenge, which is part of the conference. That's why they asked us to do it, right? They wanted the VBS and the LSE in because it's not
we
in.
need more interaction.
Yeah.
Like we forgot
Exactly.
that one. Like that was the thing. Multimodality, agents, interaction. That's like basically 3 cornerstones.
So if we take it back to the simplest thing, there's a ad hoc and there's a Q&A set, right? And then we lead to an synchronous challenge, which is ad hoc and Q&A, maybe something else thrown in there. People know well in advance. And that's the first year. And next year we use the same data set, do it again with a grander set of challenges for people. That does look at the recipe creation or whatever it is we decide we want to do. But we get it kicked off where we can show the success by having, what is success, 10 participants? Is that success for us?
Ideally, this would then also grow over time,
Yes.
because there's a lot of data there's a lot of data augmentation that can be done.
Yes.
So ideally, what I would like to see at some point, which should be very doable for a large fraction of time. So most of us are going to be visible by at least one camera most of the time. We have a trajectory that can be reconstructed just based on the sensor streams that should be on this. So you should not only be able to have the position of every person in time.
Yeah.
You could also do the full pose reconstruction, have all the skeleton control points. So you essentially can back project the people into the space, how they were posing,
Yep.
and then do this for all the actiony things, interacty things. Even if people want to do robot-y things, right? You at least have a armature. How did people interact with stuff? But this is not necessarily. It is just going to be work. to
Yeah.
actually do this.
But is that a
So we will probably
CVPR
not-
Grand Challenge then?
Yeah, so we're not going to release this in February with a high fidelity annotated skeleton post things, because even if somebody wanted to do this, it would just take some time. That's the problem.
Wouldn't this be something someone could do for the hackathon?
Yes.
Yes.
Something
Yes.
like this. I would
But
totally put
just
something
bear in
like this
mind
on the list.
The hackathon focus was healthcare / wellness.
Yes, but
Right.
even,
Now,
even I
we
mean,
We can do two, right?
Because reconstruction is a
Choose
number of
your-
healthcare
yeah.
applications. That's-
Motion of somebody, motion of an elderly person around the home, yeah.
Is social interaction
We,
healthcare?
we need to start
mental
knocking
health?
people over onto the ground.
Right.
I don't
Sanity checking.
think you want to go there.
Social interaction.
yes, no,
Meaning, think
absolutely.
of us, you know, like.
But I guess for the
Evaluate the average sanity over
for
time.
for the hackathon, I would even keep it more open and say, look,
Yeah.
this is the broad topic. These are some possible things we have come up with that
Yes.
we think would be interesting. You are supposed to, if you want to participate, sign up, propose a team,
Right.
propose a task, and probably we will just accept everything that is sensible.
We'll be happy
and,
to.
And as long as we have the capacity, and then our hackathon chairs are going to figure out all the rest, and possibly maybe we can get somebody to sponsor a best hackathon.
Conference can
or
sponsor it,
something.
right? Yeah. Sponsored by ACM Multimedia
I
2025.
mean, one thing I was thinking also, for this tutorial on XR search, one insight was basically there's work on mixed reality search engines like they do at Basel, but there is no way of evaluating them. So
It's
this
fake.
could also
Yes.
be one thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking you have a lot of things happening in the kitchen. So you could be in a real kitchen where you have items that you could use as query objects.
Mhm.
So this could also be an exploration of like how would you set up a comparative interactive environment in which you test XR or MR search, right?
Yeah.
Which is really something that's not there yet.
Totally.
Which is interesting enough because there's commercial interest in actually building such
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And there's, I mean, it's very Wild West these days, right? There's
Yeah.
people trying all these sort of things. It's very niche at this point in time. But ubiquitous computing has been a buzzword for a while, and is cooking
Yeah.
up every once in a while. So I would not be surprised if there would be more commercial interest within the next few years to really try and put products into people's
Yeah.
hands. I don't know to what degree these products are driven by needs, or to what degree this is driven by what can we currently actually make work.
Yeah, of course, it's also like always like having a new feature for every release of another generation of devices,
Yeah.
of course, because just saying, okay, there is now a few 100,000 pixels more again, at some point it's not the most catchy argument. So you
We've
need-
run out of things you can
Yeah,
perceive,
yeah.
right? So
Okay, so what's the next steps? Somebody writes down what we came up with and we have a discussion again
Everyone
tomorrow.
is document. Everything is
well, I
documented.
mean, everything is everything is.
Another suggestion, maybe just a small one, to spice it up. I started thinking of spice it up. Actually,
Spicy pub?
hey, there was this article, you know, like speaking of this pseudo psychology, you know, like about organizational theories and so on. Have you seen a?
Well, you told me about this, yes.
You take a sheet of paper, you literally salt it, you smash it right away, and it reduces your stress. It was very well known in some journals of dubious science.
This
So
is
this
so-
yeah, actually unbelievable, but okay. So, what I was thinking, you mentioned that. I just read an article, I couldn't believe it. It's actually some very well known names they made. So, putting a pepper on me maybe reduces my stress. But do the salt and then. Anyway, and for yourself.
Yeah.
So, what I was aiming at, somebody mentioned that we are going to be familiar with the data set and a process. People around us also a little bit more, you know, right? Because you tell colleagues, friends, you know. for a hackathon, maybe it could be a good idea to assign to each team that applies, and we ask people to apply beforehand, a shepherd, somebody who's this or that way involved. And we kind of also organize it as a competition, meaning that shepherd is going to be guiding the team. You see where I'm going, and helping them make the best out of what they want, not really telling them what to do, but kind of trying to squeeze. I see some fronts, probably not a good idea. Let's say Werner takes team A from Tsinghua, and Cathal takes a team from...
I can see that, yes.
Like
The-
American Idol is really
Yeah, no, this is something like that, yeah.
Why not?
No,
It's an interesting approach. I like the idea. I'm a bit worried about its implementation because many people on this table are going to be very busy these days, especially during the time of that hackathon.
Yeah, we won't have any. Actually, half the people here won't have any spare time during that hackathon. Actually, you won't either.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Because it's going to be in a weekend, is it?
we should.
We have to figure out that, yes.
some time during that hackathon, because if
Stupid
we
idea.
are busy running around, then something went horribly wrong.
Well, in most cases, it's the general chairs that will be busy handing out whiskies and stuff during the conference. So you guys should actually have an enjoyable week in reality, so you will have time to do stuff.
well, I guess before the hackathon, it could be in the preparation phase. It could
Yes.
be light involvement,
Yeah.
and I guess someone needs to be there anyway during the hackathon. So I think this shepherding idea could work. I'm not sure, because you said putting it more like a competition. I don't think. I mean, there might be very different ideas, so you can't really
Yeah, so
compare
it's-
them.
it's
So I
more of a jury kind of
Jury,
thing.
yeah.
Which is okay. The TPC co-chairs will only be really busy in June, right? Chasing down 1,000 missing reviews or something.
Program and all the things.
The program stuff will happen in July, right? Once you know all the, you'll have lots of time. Lots of
So
time.
much time.
So much time.
You will not know what to do with.
You will have
all that
4
time.
weeks during the conference.
But okay, remember, there's one thing we have to keep in mind. Whatever we decide to do for the hackathon, poor Vincent will be under pressure to replicate it next year. So this is it rolls on.
Yeah.
Not
Not your worry.
entirely convinced
might
that
worry.
this is our immediate problem, because we need to make it first. We need to make it work the first time.
Need to make it attractive with all the people who would typically take part are not taking part, right?
So
But I think some kind of reconstruction data augmentation.
I love it.
Make it very flexible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can propose some health-related topics like
Yeah.
recipe.
Recipe generation's
sanity
beautiful.
checking, I don't know.
I love
If you can evaluate, if you have ways to evaluate, public mental health, can you apply them and give people sanity ratings and see whether there's a decline over the days of the workshop? No, whatever you want, right?
Anything left to decline?
What is also interesting is all these. If you look at what people do with this
Forgot my sensor.
tracking of elderly homes, I was mentioning.
Yeah.
Are people, for example, classic question, did they fall? Okay, that's not happening here. Hopefully, so far nobody fell. I think.
Yeah.
But the thing
Kyle said it's a dry house. That's why nobody fell.
It's a dry house, remember?
We're just gonna strew more banana peels and stuff. So
But another one, for example, that they were catching, and there were commercial products also like on it. Are people hydrated enough? Did they take enough of this? Did they take enough of that? You know, and so on. And
This
so on.
is like what's going to be really useful for elderly people, independent living.
Now
Where
we're hitting all
they
the
won't wear
subjects
this,
somehow.
but they may have those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So the data set's really useful for that. So
Yeah.
that kind of a challenge is nice.
Totally. Maybe we get in touch with the.
I have a
case,
company. I have a
people.
company that does that as well. Not I have. We work with a company that does that. But they'd be really interested in sponsoring something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do this with proxy tasks. I mean, this is the drug I'm supposed to
Yes.
take to keep me alive. So did I get my level of
your vital dose of caffeine.
Exactly.
But it all ties in with the recipe generation. What did you put in the meals? The amount of consumption that each individual person has done. Can we pull that out of the two cameras or
did,
this camera?
Did we get a variety of nutritional ingredients?
It's such a nice data set.
Allergy warnings.
Yeah.
We have to at least get 2 years out of this data set before we make a new one then.
I think that's
Bigger and longer,
Yeah.
with bigger SD cards.
with bigger, more everything. I think this is something that is on the agenda for later in the week.
This was
to see what if we had infinite time and infinite money.
Yeah, well, this was done on a massive budget. That's why we're at the end of the world. If we had done this in Wicklow beside Dublin, short drive, access to more facilities close by, but it would have been double the price. So we had a rough envelope of 10,000.
Yes, and I mean these things.
We happen to have those
are,
already, right?
These things are nice. They're not. If we had designed this from scratch, this would look different.
Yes.
Right. But
then I would have had to have 20,000 because we would have had to put together something. We happen to have these.
no, if we had designed this from scratch, you're talking quite a bit more.
Okay.
But
We can always ask.
We could get this police body cams. And
Well, we
so
actually
on.
we thought about
worse.
strapping these on here, right? We thought about this.
This was the
we
first,
didn't do it.
This was the first idea we had to say. Look,
In fact, you still like that idea.
The harness, the harness.
Harness, yeah.
The problem with the harness, if I have the camera here, and I do this, right?
Yeah. Like Ali's
I can-
looking there,
I can
but the camera's
already
looking there, right?
Move my eyes, and you will have no idea where I'm looking at. But at
Yeah,
least
but
if I
you are
move,
gonna-
at
We'll
least
mount
if
the
I,
eyeball next time.
if I
We
move
will.
my head, at least you see what I'm looking
If
at.
somebody builds a tracking camera with eye movement detector built in,
I mean, honestly, there are like fairly compact sensors for eye tracking.
Yeah.
I mean, not like the ones we have in the other room.
it's
No,
certainly.
there's things that could be done if it's
If Luca has a lot of time to
if
build
it's-
it,
if
right?
it's- if
This
it's-
is the problem.
If it's feasible, I'm not an
Some
electrical
mixed
engineer, so
reality
this is
stuff.
there's
Like-
probably if
Everybody
you
gets a
actually
Vision
need to do this.
Like
Electrical engineer.
glasses frames, 2 cameras, eye tracking with movement.
Right.
It can all be done.
It can be done.
And a battery pack.
To be fair, even in this like version, as long as there are two people sort of facing each other, there
Yeah.
should be a
It's
way to
enough.
reconstruct
This is definitely also some data augmentation thing I would want to do, right? If I look at you, can I reconstruct based on your feed where your point of attention was at any point in time? So
Yeah.
given
Yes.
your
Yeah,
given
yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
That can be
see-
such
yes.
a cool
Yeah.
task. Actually, estimation from another person's another point of view. That
Speaking
can
of
be
which,
really
Cathal,
good.
I think your camera is also a little bit high.
Is it?
Can we reconstruct everything in
Can we just
VR?
like do one thing, because Klaus now asked me what did we finally conclude. So actually also
Yeah,
for so just like
little bit
for a
further?
catch and also for
I
basically
think
maybe it becomes a
that-
task. Can we now summarize? This is what we think now. Grand challenge is roughly going to be just as a summary. If somebody can.
Yeah, you're okay.
This grand
Am I okay?
challenge. This is going to be Cathal.
Better.
Bit high still?
Still a little bit.
For
the screen's not on, so I can't.
So
really
guys,
tell so
summary coming.
yes.
I think this is better, yeah.
Everybody look at Luca.
No, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that for the actual challenge, we can have several subtasks that. So I mean, first to tracks the interactive thing, that stuff is happening there on site, and the more traditional, you send us results, we're going to tell you how well you did. Non-interactive stuff. For the former, it will probably have to be reasonably similar to the 2 interactive challenges we've already been doing. So have some instance retrieval and have some question answering with a human in the loop.
And we
aspect.
would like to attract VPS teams and LSC teams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we would do judging maybe with a few people from
Similar.
Yes.
Similar. Yes, perfect,
from
perfect. We are the
from a
judges.
setup
Yes.
point of view, from an infrastructure point of view, also how the tasks are designed, how the tasks are presented, it would be the exact same thing as a VBS and
So
LSC.
and then it could later go to the VPS and LSC, but for the first
Yes,
time
we
Yeah,
might
it's
even
AC multimedia.
push
Yeah.
AC
push
multimedia.
this
Yeah.
into one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly, which makes the communication to the people reasonably easy. I mean, what we might want to do anyway is just write a brief. If you have never heard of VPS and LSC, this is how it works kind of document. which we're missing anyway. So
Yeah,
onboarding,
We should do
for
a-
new teams is hard because you essentially have to chronologically read a decade of publications to see how the stuff actually works. But that would be the interactive one. And then there's a bunch of logistics we need to figure out, but this is essentially just work. So this is not difficult.
And for non-interactive, we could do almost the same tasks, but asynchronously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus more stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So some of the things that we've said that we can actually evaluate that are different type of tasks, as in reconstruct this view from this point. So I actually took the picture, but I'm not showing you the picture.
Also,
Or
point of
the-
view, like region of interest slash salient objects, eye gaze
That might be-
from another person's
That
point
might
of
be
view.
difficult to evaluate because we don't have the ground
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
So this is more of a hackathon kind of thing.
Yeah. Or
Because there we can look,
Preparing it
there
for
we can
future
look
years,
at it
yeah.
and see if it is reasonable. But if two teams submit something similar, we don't have a
Yeah.
precise metric to see how good is this, because otherwise somebody would actually need
Yeah.
to have the eye tracker, right? So this would be the so that definitely the question answering the instance retrieval stuff in both tracks.
Yeah.
And the non-interactive would have additional tracks for reconstruction-y things that you could not reasonably do interactively. That also would not necessarily need human input because it's more of an algorithmic.
Like recipes or something that we could.
Yes,
Fine.
regenerate this
Yeah,
recipe,
yeah.
regenerate this schedule for this person.
Right.
Count the number of this person did this type or on this day this kind of action was performed.
Right.
This sort of thing. This is still sort of kind of question answery. I would really want to do the visual reconstruction thing for the also so the computer vision people also have an interesting task. Things like that, right?
So just thinking about the reconstruction, maybe something we should do while we're here is taking measurements of all the rooms as a ground truth.
Yes.
Yes.
Measuring tape.
Is there a blueprint of the house?
Wow.
I doubt they'll give us this. It'll be a bit funny. I might get a measuring tape on Friday morning.
Well,
Cathal, that must be if they were selling it. There must be a floor plan. In the Netherlands,
Yes,
at
I'm
least
just
you'll
thinking
find
what
floor
happens when
plans.
I contact them and say, "Thank you for the week in your home. It was wonderful. Have you got the floor plans and the measurements?" Already, I'm thinking, "Oh, there's a day set going to be out there with all their beautiful furniture in it." If I ask for any more, I'm a little bit hesitant to ask for that. I'd rather we just take our measurements.
To be fair, I think most modern smartphones can do reasonably accurate measurements.
Yeah.
So we can probably just do it ourselves without.
There is a hardware store in the Super Value, so we would have that if we need to.
We could get a automatic vacuum cleaner to generate the floor plan.
I mean, you presumably, as long as we have a reference object that we know the precise dimensions
True,
of,
yeah.
everything else
Yeah,
could technically
yeah.
be reconstructed based on.
That dartboard.
Yeah.
I was more thinking about something that is properly
Yeah.
like
Stable.
Oh.
Yeah.
like has a pattern on it
no-
that you can
no-
actually calibrate the camera and
Yeah.
The
You'll
dartboard.
need to walk through the
Things.
house with this milk carton. And stuff.
things like that. But I mean, or just
Okay.
you can do essentially volumetric reconstruction just based on all these images.
Yeah, no, it's just about like if you want to make it useful, it's data set.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
The more stuff we have, the better,
yeah.
right? Okay. Okay, so do you have a plan for thinking about this, and tomorrow we kind of finalize what that looks like? Yeah? Yeah.
And I guess for the hackathon we discussed a bunch of things that would be interesting, so it might be good. And I don't have the agenda we came up with
No.
on the top of my head.
I'm just trying to find a list of tasks, so
But,
before everybody gets up.
It might
It's on
be
the
good
fridge.
if everybody also thinks about. Yeah, I have some metadata of the.
Yeah, this is different. This is different.
Yeah.
Different. Should we have a
I'll come to some of the results from yesterday. a
Okay.
bit.
No, take it.
should we have a viewing of some of the data from yesterday?
Viewing on the data
Viewing,
set.
probably not.
Of the funniest things that happened yesterday.
I don't have that technology.
Okay. Okay, before we get up, I want to draw a list of tasks that everybody should be kind of doing it over the course of this time, right?
Right.
So we have cooking, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking something. Everybody's cleaning after cooking, right? Everybody should be doing the reading experiment. On and on will chase you down.
Okay. Can you try later if it makes a difference?
Again?
Let's not all do the reading experiments on Friday afternoon, right? It's not the most fun element, but it's
How long is it?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Everybody has to
Sure.
read
I mean, if
a book, right?
Allowed?
if it's
I was doing reading aloud.
Yeah, but that should be the guideline. Do you want? I
up
want
to
to
you,
read
right?
aloud.
It doesn't
I'll-
matter, right?
not going to be done.
I'm just thinking, what's the benefit of reading it? Read aloud.
Get to it.
I mean, why not? It's extra data, right?
Then get some audience.
Very weird. Read out loud.
I was doing Charles
Imagine you
Dickens.
have a
It's
kid
easy. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Then we read in Vietnamese.
Yeah, no, but the thing is,
We've already done the Christmas tree.
that it's not the problem with the USB connection. So
Everybody should at least try to make noise on the guitar, right?
All right.
Noise on guitar. I won't call it music. On guitar.
So, do we have a printer in the house?
No.
No. Okay.
Um,
I need some cord. I'll
Yeah.
rig up some
no,
cord.
we're getting the third laptop.
yes,
But I can.
I
can
will
pull
set
it.
up that
Or
device later.
one of the helpers can do it, right? Just need to.
No, we can do. This is a task. We can do.
Okay.
I will set this
That's all.
machine up later today.
Okay, so this is reading music.
That's
We
all.
will
Well,
Chords.
I think
Guitar chords.
with Ubuntu, and then you
With-
can do whatever you want.
With tab/chord.
It directly boots into some MIDI thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do laundry, so I'm doing laundry, and somebody else probably do laundry, right?
Right.
Yes. Install some musical qualifications.
Train.
Okay, so games, and games will be multiple. We have wooden block game,
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, wooden block tower game.
one block, tower.
if it's tower game or
That's
just
blocks.
Well, there's a tower in there right now, and it's very impressive that it's still standing.
Yes. But the question is, how many blocks can you pull down of that tower before it collapses?
It looks like
One.
No, it looks like zero. Before it collapses.
You might be able to
The
take
top.
the topmost,
Yes, maybe.
Card game,
but
But aside that,
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo,
what?
Chess.
Buckaroo game.
Buckaroo? What's the Buckaroo game?
It's in there. It's the one where you put the things on a Connemara pony and it throws it off. Poker, proper poker,
What is
proper poker. Dublin rules.
Okay, and chess. And
that's
connect
gone
four.
We won't get everybody into. Everything's in on the table, yeah. Chess, Connect Four.
I
Connect
didn't play
four.
chess since elementary school.
We should have
Funny if
the
I
rules
played
are still the same.
darts,
There's the chessboard. Two chessboards.
chess or equivalent.
I'm not joking.
Finally, a worthy opponent, somebody who plays at my level.
What's the What's the equivalent of chess that you have here?
Drafts. You take the Connect Four pieces and you play drafts with it.
Google rules.
It's
It's an easier game than
That
chess.
machine is.
People will feel less stressed. Okay, drawing.
I think it's similar.
We need a
to
chess program.
Drawing a
Similar to
picture.
check- It's similar to
I mean,
checker,
we
right?
can play
Paper
checkers
planes.
with
Writing, yeah.
Drawing with what? You don't have pencils. You don't have.
We do. We got coloured markers. We got 30 of them.
Oh, I didn't get anything. That's why I had to paint it. With, like,
What?
She painted a picture with enamel paint used for
Yes,
the.
but this is much nicer because the others are
What was that? What was the other thing we said?
Origami.
Origami, paper plane.
I would want some colors, please.
yes. You have colors. With these colors, you will not be
Yeah.
able to achieve
The long game.
Long game, dart/long game.
Okay.
Is that it?
Quizzes?
Thesis?
Quizzes.
Quizzes. Quiz.
Happy quizzes.
Happy quiz.
Quizzes.
I have somebody handing up a thesis this week if you want to read it. You're very welcome.
That's
the reading task.
Reading task. Somebody please read News PhD. Right. The happy quiz. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 20.
Teach somebody a card game.
Teach how Dublin rules.
Uno.
I wanna learn poker because I also didn't play that fancy.
Yeah,
Don't learn from her.
Dublin rules.
She will
Dublin
take all your
rules.
money.
Dublin rules. Dublin rules.
I wanna learn.
No,
any poker.
but definitely, if you have a thing,
I will show you.
show the people that would. Be
It's
very
much less complicated.
So I call
What do you mean much less
Klaus a
complicated?
card game.
How much
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
complicated?
You get all your cards.
Yeah.
You're allowed to change one. You go. Simple.
Okay.
5 cards. Oh, I want to go to this one. Take another card. Thank you. Show your cards.
Until you have a
Oh, that is
It's poker. It's proper poker.
It's a version of
Yes.
poker, yes.
okay. And how many rounds of betting are there?
What's the rule? What's the
You
rule?
just keep going until you finish.
So,
No.
do you
But,
know the
like,
normal rule?
You
of
still bet
poker?
with chips, right?
Yes. You
I
do.
used to know.
But like, so you.
I
get
will
your
raise
cards.
you 50.
Haven't played
Yeah,
it.
no.
And you'll match me. And you'll raise me. And I'll raise you.
Okay.
Eventually you stop.
So you try to get some patterns
But there should be
out
a
of
round
5
before you
cards.
switch your card
Oh
and
yeah,
after
no,
you switch
no,
your
no,
card.
pairs and
Yes.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be more
But his
interesting.
Okay,
version
fine.
is that you get 5 cards at once.
But do you have a round of betting before you switch cards and then after?
No, what we normally do after, but we can do it before. We can do it. We can do both, right?
It would be more
Okay.
interesting with
Yeah.
before.
I think
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
playing that one.
Okay.
That's proper poker.
The only one I know is double.
But the thing is that the sets.
Look,
the sets
We
that
play
you
proper
bought-
poker. You play some Texas poker thing.
But the thing is like the sets. On the sets, there was slots for the cards. So
Okay.
they were playing according to
We'll
the
play
sets.
snap.
Snap.
What is snap?
Whoever gets a matching card. Snap.
Ah, yes.
It's actually good fun.
Yeah,
If you're 12, but it's good.
Double poker.
We'll do Dublin poker.
Yeah.
All along, you're in.
Sure.
Dublin rules.
Very good. So
Okay, so let me
basically
change
it's one of
poker.
the
Proper
cards you
poker
can,
is already in there, yes.
Proper poker.
You play proper poker.
Yes.
But that means your credit card is out.
What
Your credit card goes on the.
I'm gonna put this on the fridge, right? The only thing, not everybody can actually do laundry, but everybody can do cleaning.
Sweep
Mm.
house, you know?
Everybody is expected to clean up after 2 meals, right? Over the course of the time. That's reasonable.
I can do cleaning now. I didn't do
You
cleaning.
cooking? No, you cooked. No, you're the chef. You're the breakfast chef every day apparently now. So
Self-appointed, plus helping with lunches.
so who is
Did you
lunch?
get the rolling pin when you were shopping?
We didn't, but we got a very tightly wound aluminium foil.
I was kind of afraid that you would say that, but okay. Sure.
Yeah, it was the cheapest one, so it was really small. It's perfect.
We can make
Yeah,
that
yeah,
work.
yeah. We that was a decision taken. Yeah.
Well, he.
That's the wrong decision taken.
A decision taken by people.
The other option was we went to Galway, and we're still on the way back now.
There was no rolling pin?
Order it from Amazon, it will arrive next week.
Ah, yeah, there was no rolling pin.
There's no rolling pin.
There was no rolling
No rolling pin. No, we didn't have the cameras on, so nobody can prove anything.
pin. There was no rolling pin.
So lunch is
Chicken hot pot.
chicken hot pot.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I'm cooking with you, right? Is that the plan? Doing it by yourself?
It was just me, Lynn, and Val.
Okay, fine, good. That means I'm
You're
out.
gonna do curry.
How long will it
The
take?
thing is that they are not wearing cameras, so I have to do it for them.
Or somebody else can do it.
An hour,
They
okay.
can instruct people.
Maybe a bit more because
It would actually be much more interesting if it's somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
And you just have to give instructions.
Oh, if you're willing to have a really bad one.
You can do it, right?
If you're willing to have, like, to risk it. We have plenty of food, right?
That's not good.
What's the worst that can happen? The famous last words.
If you can tell somebody what to do, we can do the NTCR queries and get them out.
Now.
Yeah. If you
On
tell
camera.
on camera, because it's going to be the query is going to be out before the day set comes out for this,
Yeah, okay.
right? So it's meta.
Yeah, but can I do it after lunch?
Okay. Are you cooking lunch now?
No, not now, but like.
No, but you find some volunteers wearing cameras who have no idea, who've never seen the recipe, and then that's much more interesting.
The important thing is that even the person who suggested the recipe doesn't know what he's doing.
That's even more interesting.
I needed to get more stuff this morning.
Yeah, no, that's great. So,
But you've made it before?
No.
No,
So
okay.
nobody made it before because we actually
It's
don't know
okay.
what we're doing.
It's fine. Let's cook the ham as well.
Oh yeah, what is the ham for?
Sandwiches.
Okay, you can do that as a backup.
for the trip back.
For the trip back, I said. Okay, great job. Okay, who are the two people who are doing the cleaning?
I can do it.
Lovely. You're the two people. Perfect.
Yes.
I'll go back to the laundry.
Do the coffee. Yeah.
We can. I will
Join you for doing laundry
Yes.
as a second. Because laundry is outside of cameras, right?
Laundry is in cameras.
It's in cameras. I think it's outside camera.
Oh, outside of that camera. Yes, yes. That's what I mean.
Observing.
Where do I put this? This is clean.
So we are. Because we have to figure out how to do this, right? Let's get.
I know the way the light.
Is it finished?
Yes, sure.
No, definitely not. I'm not opening that.
It's locked.
It's locked and there's water inside.
Yes.
It's going to go into here, so let's figure out how this works.
I think they put everything ready. If you go to the light, you don't have that many things ready.
Loaded.
What's the start?
Heavy duty.
If this doesn't work, we're in trouble.
Temperature selector.
It's permit,
low,
press
yeah.
high. Oh, it's off, hang on.
But there might
It's
be
a medium.
There might be.
It's on.
It's on. It should be on, everything should be on. Right,
There might be a switch here, right?
Yeah, but
it's on. It's on. If I press start, it should just work.
It is just working.
Yes.
Can I have one and I just do my laundry there?
Kijk mis aan.
No, just open, I think.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's easy.
And then probably
That should be the filter. It's clean.
clean enough. Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to do a white shirt wash as well. If anybody has white.
I have a white shirt.
Yes, I'll wash them. I didn't bring enough shirts. Okay, super news.
So
It's all good.
get the white shirt now.
I'm going to, yes, I'll bring down my shirts too.
Pass me over the cups and I'll put them in.
Oh, did I have camera still on?
That it is.
Do we wash them, throw them?
Anybody want white clothes washed?
So put the shirts on the.
Okay.
Who are used?
But towels are not ready.
Cathal.
Yes.
Fitting now, I think.
Yeah.
What do we do with this?
They're for cooking, roasting.
Okay.
So it means you don't have to clean every time, right?
I think we have two to clean. Guys, these two need to be cleaned. These two are new.
They're okay. They're okay. They're only a bit of
I
croissants.
don't know. Let's.
Sorry.
Not risky.
Oh, oh, oh.
Anything broken? Did we break something?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Are you working hard on it?
Florian, don't hurry.
We need to get some non-food activities.
Last chance for a white wash. White laundry. White only.
All good.
All good.
All good, all good. I just remembered now. Oh.
This is collaborative cooking. List
This
making.
one has to go to
We only have 6 chicken breasts.
Only 6.
Yes. For the
It'll never no.
for lunch.
That's so much.
For lunch.
Yes. We will be eating that lunch for a week.
That's all we have though. This is the problem.
That's all we have.
You only have 6 chicken breasts
Only
for 12
6.
people.
Cathal, I think we will manage.
Are you sure?
I am quite certain.
Most Irish people use 1 tea bag in a teapot. Here we use
how many
3.
were there?
3.
Yeah, I wouldn't just put 3 in.
I wouldn't have put 3 in there too. Coffee. 1, 2, 3 coffees. 3, 4 coffees. 5 coffees. 6 coffees. We're fine.
Wait, what?
6 bags of coffee. We're fine.
And so, did you buy another
2.
freeze-dried coffee?
No. This here.
Yeah, but I thought...
No, I
Was
brought.
there already one and then...
I had that in my fridge. Remember?
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Hey guys,
It was...
whoever is cooking, we have 2 packages of chicken that have to go today.
Oh, that's the chicken breast. Yeah.
Breasts, yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 packets that,
Okay.
that expired today.
And the
Oh.
rest is...
Interestingly, the ones you bought on Monday last until Friday,
Okay.
but the ones you bought today last until today.
That's fantastic.
Are we sure they're safe then? We have to smell them, right? We
Yeah,
could
well,
decide that
once
we
we
have to
open them,
replace
yeah, but I
chicken
think-
with ham.
But I think if they last until today, they should.
We just have to check and see.
Yeah, sure. But they should. Be
I
reasonably
normally am not happy to do chicken when it's so close.
Yeah, I'd normally be very cautious.
safe. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
There's,
if it gets properly cooked and properly heated up.
yeah.
Cathal, don't open them now.
Look, what are we going to do with this? Look, we have a problem here, right? We have to cook the ham for sandwiches.
No. Wait. This is very raw.
Yes. This is uncooked ham.
So basically,
Chicken breasts.
for a breakfast,
Oh, we have extra.
Cathal, for breakfast I can roast it a bit.
I was going to roast it today, so we have it for cooking on sandwiches for the next 2 days. You know the way you buy sliced ham?
Check.
So we just slice this. Much
Okay.
nicer.
And you know what? What is lunch today?
Lunch is the chicken.
Chicken.
The chicken that's out of date.
It's not out of date. It's till today. Check it. This one.
5th
That
of
one is
December.
tomorrow.
It's probably okay. What about this one?
No, that one is okay, I think.
6th of December.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have to be sure what this is like. Oh, it's only 2 chicken breasts. I'm very cautious of this, right?
Yeah, totally. And whoever prepares it has to go kind of stew-like.
Yes. We have the lamb. We can maybe replace the chicken with the lamb.
Mean to throw away this?
I'd be very cautious about eating that.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, let's say we get sick.
No, that's what we have done before. And what kind of chicken is somebody preparing?
I don't know. Who got the chicken thighs? Who's cooking the chicken thighs? Thighs.
No idea.
So if we get rid of the chicken that's out of date, roughly, and use the thighs and the in-date breasts instead.
Lunch is a chicken hot pot.
Yes. So I think we maybe don't need some of that chicken, right? So chicken hot pot. Anything else with chicken? Does Bjorn's curry
Bjorn.
need Indian? Let's see.
No, because he prepares dal and he prepares something else.
Chicken curry.
Thursday.
Lynn's chicken curry.
So I
we
think,
may be short
maybe
of chicken. Maybe we have to replace that with something else, right?
Yeah.
Chicken curry may have to go if we.
Or we kind of put it today instead of Bjorn.
Bjorn was doing. There's a reason why Bjorn had to do it today.
No, there is no reason.
Question.